To your Monday Morning Pearl, I'm Steve Keck. As sales leaders, giving feedback is an essential aspect to our role, and it is imperative that we do it well. So today, I'd like to give you a couple of ideas on how to make sure your feedback doesn't grow stale. When you're giving someone feedback, it's important to understand that giving good feedback and getting feedback that works may be two different things, because feedback requires engagement. If the person receiving the feedback isn't willing or ready to hear it, feedback may actually have a negative value on their performance. Here's the first thing I want you to assess this week when determining whether your feedback is engaging, and that is your feedback balance. Feedback balance is comprised of three things: positive feedback, constructive feedback, and negative feedback. Positive or negative feedback does not weigh the same, and constructive feedback tends to follow where the most feedback is delivered. So if you are consistently delivering negative feedback, any constructive feedback that you deliver will be perceived by the receiver as negative. And therefore, when you think you're being constructive and giving good feedback, they are receiving it in a negative light. So when you're trying to figure out your feedback balance, it's good to look at how often you're delivering negative or constructive feedback in relation to how often you are creating a positive environment through positive feedback. When I look at feedback, I think positive feedback is about half the weight of negative feedback, meaning I need to do twice as many positive feedbacks in order to offset a single negative feedback. And if I want to create an environment of engagement, I need to have more than double the positive feedback when it comes to helping someone move into a new place of expertise. So my general rule for myself when I'm coaching someone through a particular exercise is look for the genius. Where did they do the right thing well? And how do I really reinforce that with positive feedback? And the second data point on your feedback I'd like for you to assess this week is your feedback on your feedback. It is perfectly acceptable for you to ask your sales team how they appreciate your feedback, how they don't appreciate your feedback, and what they would like to see that gives them the most motivation to stay engaged and accept feedback. I know this sounds so simple and it's so often overlooked, is creating an environment of vulnerability and willingness to receive feedback, because your job is to give it. So if you can give them the opportunity and the place to have a voice in how they receive feedback, you will create the environment for greater engagement when you have to deliver constructive or even negative feedback. We're going to talk more about feedback over the next few weeks, but this week I want you to focus on two things. What is your feedback balance? And have you gotten any feedback on your feedback? Getting a clear insight on those two things can have a dramatic impact on how you guide your teams through the rest of the year. And as always, if you need help getting your sales environment into a place of engaged feedback, reach out to us and let's have a conversation. We love helping teams figure out what they need to do to work together for success. You can find us on our website or one of our social channels.